Hey everyone, Warwick's here. Special bonus reaction video. Geoff Castallucci released a new song, so of course we got to take a look at it. The Rains of Castamere low bass singer cover by Lord Geoff Castallucci, first of his name. All the titles that are bestowed to the true king of acapella Westeros. So I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, so of course this has really big interest to me. I've read all the source material, all the original books, a lot of the surrounding material around it, things like World of Ice and Fire, Dunk and Egg. I'm going through Fire and Blood right now in preparation for Dance of the Dragons that releases on HBO Max later this month. So if you've only watched the show and you were kind of sour about how the show ended, which I don't blame you for, hopefully this song and then of course Dance of the Dragon, and I would recommend reading the books if you're into that, will help you kind of feel like that you can clear that taste from your mouth. So I'm very, very excited by this. Anything that dives into the series and lore of World of Ice and Fire is always good with me. So if you are familiar with the context of Rains of Castamere within the story of Game of Thrones, then I think you'll kind of know what to expect with this song. And if you're not familiar with the story of Game of Thrones, let's just say that this portrays darkness. The song itself is meant to tell a story of a dark moment. In the World of Ice and Fire, if dark is the word that you're using, it usually means someone's getting brutally murdered, because George Martin did a lot of building of events in his stories off of mostly real events in actual medieval history. So fun stuff. There's a whole videos out there on like the real history behind Game of Thrones, and not like behind the writing of the books, but like where a lot of the events of the books and show are inspired from in real history. So off on a tangent. For those of you new to the channel, very much I appreciate you joining me, and welcome. Hopefully you'll join the now 500 subscribers that I have on my channel. I woke up to that email this morning as of recording, so I'm very humbled by that. I didn't think I'd have more than 10, let alone 500 of you that enjoy the stuff that I make. I just have fun doing it, and so the fact that you're joining me on this journey means a ton to me, and thank you very much for that. Like, share, subscribe, hashtag Simp for Club. Anyways, for those of you not aware of my background, or this is the first reaction video of mine you've watched, I'm not a professional singer. I'm not a professional musician. I was in high school drumline, and that's about the extent of my musician stuff. I learned stuff over time through osmosis because I hang out with a lot of people that do enjoy music. I'm a big lover of music, particularly instrumental music, because I just enjoy really picking out a lot of the details in those songs. And so it just kind of naturally carries over to these type of acapella reaction videos. So if you're looking into things like wanting to know like all the notes or all the techniques and stuff like that, I'm not going to be your guy. You're going to want to go watch folks like the Charismatic Voice, Mortius, Peter Barber. I'm sure there's a few others out there. Renee, I know is good. She's an opera singer, so she's able to pick that stuff out. Bass to Yang, if he does reactions to this stuff, he does an excellent job of breaking down everything. So definitely go check out those guys if you want a more technical version of this. I'm just a guy that likes to watch this stuff for the first time, react to it in real time, and then go back and point out all the stuff that I think is cool. So without further ado, the structure of this video, because it is a first time reaction, I have never seen this video before. I'm going to just go through it and play it straight up, just as is, react to it in real time. If that's all you care about in this video, you can leave after that. For those of you that like the more detailed breakdown of stuff, stay till the end of the video. So that's the structure of how we're going to do this. So without further ado, let's get started.
And who are you? The proud Lord said that I must bow so low. Only a cat of a different coat, that's all the truth I know. In a coat of gold or a coat of red, a lion still has claws, and mine are long and sharp, my lord, as long and sharp as yours. And so he spoke, and so he spoke, that Lord of Castamere, weep o'er his hall with no one there to hear. Yes, now the rains weep o'er his hall with not a soul to hear. And so he spoke, the Lord of Castamere. But now the rains weep o'er his hall with no one there to hear. Now the
It's coming, I can feel it.
rains weep o'er his hall with not a soul to hear.
My God. Oh, goodness. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I definitely stand our king of acapella Westeros. Well done, Geoff. Just beautiful harmonies. The middle of the song went in a direction that I was completely not expecting in a way that I think is good. And a lot of little things that played on my expectations perfectly. Like, really cool stuff. So that's the end of the normal reaction. If that's all you're into, thank you for sticking around for around 7.5 minutes. I'll see you in the next video. For those of you sticking around for the breakdown, let's get into it, shall we? All right, so right off the start, set design, fantastic. The Lion of Lannister in the background. Love it.
And who are you?
And within the first 4 words, he's already, like, messed with me. Because, like, and who are you? That little bounce is just a really good way to, like, set the song off and, like, catch your ear's attention. I talk a lot about keeping your ears interested. And when I talk about that, I'm saying that, like, the song plays on your expectations and keeps you engaged the whole time. Like, there are some songs out there where, like, the pattern just repeats itself enough that eventually you tune it out. Geoff doesn't do that for the most part in his arrangements, and already right at the beginning in 4 words, he's already managed to suck me into this song in a way that I didn't think was possible. So kudos, Geoff.
The proud Lord said that I must bow so low. Only a cat of a different coat, that's all the truth I know.
When I talked about little things that played with my expectations, it was right there. I expected him to drop immediately into no, and he didn't. He did a slight, like, probably just a small little step up, and then dropped afterwards on a nice little downward slide. So, nice stuff.
In a coat of gold or a coat of red, a lion still has claws.
And another right here. We've got coat of gold, coat of red. Like, he's dropping down in there, and in the next line, a lion still has claws. I expected him to drop with claws, because that's just the natural repetition that makes sense in my brain, and he didn't. He stepped back just a little bit, and listen to it. He goes up a little bit, and it is really beautifully done.
Lion still has claws.
Or he adjusts the way that he doesn't go down like full steps. He almost goes down like a half step almost, just to mess with you and troll you a little bit. And it works. It worked on me. Like, I really enjoyed that line in way more than I probably should enjoy individual singing lines. But I just thought it was really cool. And it was just a nice way, again, to keep me engaged.
and mine are long and sharp, my lord, as long and sharp as yours.
So call and response. I've talked about this before, where you have one line that almost, or question and answer. You've heard it sometimes talked as that, where in like instrumental music, it's usually called question and answer, where a line is almost like asking a question, and then the next line or next bar is that question being answered. So a famous example of this in instrumental music, video game music, is like Super Mario Land's 2 theme. You know, so where you're trying to think of the song. I just lost it on the top of my head. But that song does a really good job of like 2 lines ask a question, 2 lines respond to it. Here, what Geoff does is he talks about as long and sharp as yours, and then he melodizes or harmonizes as long and sharp as yours up higher. So it's almost like a call, as long and sharp as yours, and then the response is them repeating the line in harmony on higher notes. That just does a really good job of establishing the other 3 Geoffs and kind of what they're going to fall into in this song. B, it just does a really good job of extending the song in a beautiful way. It adds, it only added probably 3 or 4 seconds to this song, but it does a lot to kind of help build and impact the way the rest of the song is going. Effective call and response is so good, and it is probably my favorite musical technique. So if you have really good call and response in your songs, you've got a fan of me. So shout outs, Geoff. Thank you, King.
And so he spoke, and so he spoke, the Lord of Castamere.
That line, Lord of Castamere. Oh God, gets me every time. Bass harmony. I'm assuming it's the Geoff probably just to the left when we look at all 4 of them that's joining him in that, because he seems to be doing lower parts. But I really like this line, Lord of Castamere. And doing the duet bass harmony makes that line sound a lot more powerful musically, or at least from like to the ears at least. Even though musically it's just probably just like you sing the song and one does it in like major and one of it maybe does it in minor, or whatever the case may be. I'm not smart enough to know that stuff, but like I'm sure like from a musical and arrangement standpoint it's super easy to do, but from the resulting outcome is like really nice and just hit me in like the right spot right here in the chest when I heard it. Let's listen to it one more time. Hang on.
Castamere, but now the rains weep o'er his hall, with no one there to hear. Yes, now the rains weep o'er his hall, with not a soul to hear.
Did the same thing with Not a Soul to Hear that he did on the Lord of Castamere, and it just gets me. So those probably are the most famous lines of the song. I think any casual Game of Thrones fan will know that those 4 lines at the very least. And so like those lines unknowingly have a lot of pressure on them to be really good, and he achieves that here. Really well done. Really enjoyed that little section. Nice mix of main line Geoff doing it in his low bass with a little bit of harmony, and the violin in the background along with the drum in the background, making this song feels like it has forward momentum the entire time as well. And this is where it takes a turn that I was not expecting, but I love it in a weird way. Not a single word is spoken. This is all harmonies, just singing the melody of Rains of Castamere. I think I got distracted editing on the video editing on this, that I didn't really pay attention musically, so I'm going to pay attention to musically on this a little bit, and then we'll go back and talk about some of the editing on this. 124, we're going to mark that. All right, so in this first section, of course, more drums. I'm never against more drums as a drummer myself, so fan in me for that. What I really, really like musically in this is that the bass is a little bit buried at the beginning of this, which I think is good because we've gotten low bass this entire time with minimal, a little bit of like high note stuff. Here we're focused a lot more on high harmonies. If you listen very closely, you can hear the low harmonies until we get to the end, which is meant to signify the transition where that low harmony comes in. Again, two Geoffs doing the low harmony, low bass harmony. Sounds beautiful, sounds haunting in a way, which, I mean, this whole song is meant to be haunting, so it's kind of there. If you know the context of Rains of Castamere, I hope you see that Geoff is really nailing the vibe in a little bit of a different way to what the song brings about in the show, at least in the show and in the books, frankly. So obviously the Geoff's harmonizing the melody, the main line of the song, but the stuff going on in the background with his instruments is really, really interesting. You saw me point left to right just at that moment because you got some really nice stuff on stereo headphones going left to right. This is probably mono, so you're probably not getting it. But if you listen to the original song, then yeah, you're going to see that it goes there. It's right here. So just really, really nice work there to keep the ears engaged. And it really gives this song a sense of epicness to it. Because the original, like I said, it's just kind of like a dour song overall. You basically sing it when you're upset, mad, or trying to intimidate somebody. But he makes it sound like it's like epic music, which is good. I also like the detail here. Hear Our Roar, which is the words of House Lannister. Shout outs to that detail keeping. Appreciate that greatly. Anyways, moving on. Oh, video editing wise, this section, I could probably do a whole video on it, but the transition into this section was really, really cool. And I really like the editing of the Geoffs kind of transitioning out of the seats and stuff. Whoever did the editing on this. Shout outs to you. You did a fantastic job on this. I don't know if it was Geoff or someone else, but just lovely work. Transitioning them on every note and then double timing it on every note. Really, really good, clever use of editing there as well. And then we come right back out in that cool little epic visual on the side, back to the four Geoffs, and we get back into the low bass singing cover as we end this song. Just really, really cool video editing, and the harmonies used, the three Geoffs, a little bit of the fourth as well, sing the melody with no words as it was in the show. Really nice little Easter egg to those of us in the show that are like fans of the show or the books. Again, call and response right there. Gets me every time. And again, the Lord of Castamere, last time we had double bass harmony. Now we have high harmonies on it this time. So again, playing with your expectations a little bit, because you've heard before, and so we spoke that Lord of Castamere, earlier in the song, it was bass, double bass harmony. And now here, we're not getting that. So we get the high, low, right into another high. Like, if you think about it, it makes sense for him to do it that way from an arrangement standpoint. But from an expectation standpoint, as I was listening to it, I was expecting that double bass harmony on that Lord of Castamere, and he didn't do it. He went back into this high harmony, which I think is really, really good. And again, keeps me engaged.
Soul to
And of course, I won't know if it's a classic Geoff ending, but it is a classic bass ending where the lowest note of the entire song is the last word. Makes you wait and wait and wait, and then he drops it. So, really, really love that. If anyone knows what that note is and what technique he uses again, I'm going to assume subharmonics. But if you know the exact techniques that he's using, whether that's growl or sub, I'd like to know, and what note it is because I'm curious. I can't identify it to save my life. But overall, Geoff Castallucci, king of Westeros, acapella Westeros, first of his name, the Andals and the First Men, all that good stuff. I bow to you, King Geoff. So, excellent, excellent video. I'm so glad that I got to do this. And of course, as a Game of Thrones fan, the Rains of Castamere are big for me. I know Peter Barber has been hinting something Game of Thrones related on his channel, so I'll probably be on the lookout for that. We'll do a reaction to that as well as the normal Sunday home free month stuff. So I appreciate you very much for joining me. For those of you that are here for acapella stuff, probably not going to have another one again until Sunday, unless someone releases something this week that is a banger. For those of you that watch this and my World of Warcraft videos, I've got a Beast Mastery Hunter deep dive on the Dragonflight talents coming over the next couple of days. So until the next video, I hope you're all staying safe. Hope you're all enjoying your music and you're having fun. And I will see you all in your next video.